It's time to feel the rage. Welcome to Film Rage, where we talk movies. Theaters are still closed, but we are pressing forward as we continue to stream the latest releases and review some classic films as well. Directors and actors beware, as you cannot hide from the rage. My name is Bryce, and I'm part of the Film Rage crew, which also includes Jim. Hello, Jim.
Hey, hey.
So with the introductions out of the way, let's rage on.
Well, this week on the podcast, we talk about new flicks to streaming. We break down the crew's top 10 Mondo and 5 least favorite Rage films, Open Rage. And finally, we talk about Denise Richards on the list.
I thought we were talking about Kelsey Grammer.
Oh, we're talking about them both. It's a double-doubted duo today.
A double-doubted duo. Not necessarily.
Well, maybe not.
I guess we'll have that discussion later.
We will talk about the Grams. The Grams and the Richards. But then we'll pack up our Christmas trees and start counting down until next year when COVID is finally over.
You figure?
Want to dance?
Yeah, okay.
Sure, why not? Streaming. Motherfucking streaming. We've been just streaming. And streaming. And streaming. And streaming.
A lot of streaming.
Streaming. Streaming. Bryce, what have we been doing?
We've been streaming. Alright, which isn't such a bad thing when you get to watch movies like Ma Rainey's Black Bottom. It is on Netflix as we speak. Well, sir, Ma Rainey's Black Bottom is based on the August Wilson Pulitzer Prize winning play. It is a story of Ma and her band in a recording session in 1927. Viola Davis absolutely shines as the titular character, a blues singer whose personality may be even bigger than her singing voice. Chadwick Boseman portrays Levy, a young trumpet player with lofty aspirations. Levy comes across as Levy comes across as naive at first, but as the story rolls along, we learn that there is so much more than meets the eye with this man. The layers to this character and the way that Boseman was able to reveal every layer through his execution was one of the best performances by a male lead this year. Not the best, but one of them. The rest of the cast was also stellar, with every cast member deflecting the spotlight back on the two lead actors. This was a very good supporting cast. There is an intensity to the film, as it is a microcosm of the time, plus we get to listen to some darn fine music. I am so glad that this play got turned into a film, as it means many more people will get to see this work. And I am even more glad that they cast Boseman and Viola Davis in the lead roles. This movie was Mondo.
Okay then. Well, I'm going to disagree with you a little bit. First off, it's very Broadway feeling all through it.
Yep.
I felt like I was watching the play right on Broadway.
Cool.
Biggest issue is I'm not a fan of films that feel like plays, that may or may not be playing on Broadway. I am assuming it is very intentional, and the film style of the shots and the direction I feel are based on the era this film is. Started off with detriments because of 3 reasons. 1, it's a play that may or may not be playing on Broadway. Number 2, it's a period piece, which I am not a big fan of, although this is a biopic, which brings me to my next detriment. Number 3, it's a biopic.
Yes, but
now,
it's one of those good biopics where it's not like a biopic as much as a one little segment from that person's life.
It is. I would agree with you there.
Yep.
I would also agree with you on that. The pluses, though, on this were A, Chadwick Boseman,
yes,
Viola Davis, and Colman Domingo, who I also thought was freaking stellar. I can't say the first two without the second.
Yep.
I think Colman Domingo is brilliant in everything he does. I thought the ending, to me though, the ending was ruined. I thought it didn't really fit. I felt it fell off the rails at the very end. I feel it went too far and kind of destroyed the ending and was too extreme for what we had just been watching for the previous 30 minutes. Gets
love the ending.
Great characters, acting great in a movie that was meh. As a play, it may have been better if I saw it on Broadway, or maybe not on Broadway. But no, I really do not like movies that are made into plays. I know what you're saying, that it's valuable.
Come
because people now
on,
get to see
Glengarry Glen Ross.
Yeah, but it wasn't okay. But if you want to talk about Glengarry Glen Ross, it was not filmed exactly like the play was. It didn't feel. It still had a play feel, but this one was very cut, very angular. The shots were very distinct that they wanted to capture the feel that you had when you watched a play. And I am not going to a play. I'm watching a movie. I wanted them to turn this play into a movie. And I couldn't get past that fact. The actors were stellar. But for me, the actors themselves cannot bring this to a Mondo. I loved their acting. As I was watching it, I was thinking, think of how we talk about Tom Holland from Capone, you'll hear his name come later. Tom Hardy, sorry, thank you. Why was I thinking Tom Holland? That's not the right person.
Don't know.
But I don't know. But Tom Hardy in Capone, right? Perfectly good example. As I'm watching this, Viola Davis is Ma Rainey. I did not think of her in any other role she's been in. She was brilliant.
Yep.
And same with Boseman. All of them. The characters were great. I just couldn't get past biopic, A, B,
stage play vibe.
Yeah, the stage play vibe just made me meh.
I loved every minute of it. It was Mondo.
I'm glad you enjoyed it. There you go.
I am also glad I enjoyed it. So that makes two of us, my friend.
Well, I wish I enjoyed it more, but there we go.
I also wish you enjoyed it more.
I enjoyed the acting. That's what I'm going to say. All right. Well,
what else we see?
We saw The Midnight Sky.
Ooh, that's George Clooney.
It is. This post-apocalyptic tale follows Augustine, a lonely scientist in the Arctic, as he races to stop Sully and her fellow astronauts from returning home to a mysterious global catastrophe directed by none other than George Clooney. And the writers are a few people. And it stars George Clooney, Felicity Jones, and David Oyelowo? I can't try it. I don't know. Do you know what this last name is?
Oyelowo.
Oyelowo. So, that was good. A dying George Clooney and a kid, a.k.a. CLF. We all know what that is.
Yeah.
Alone on a planet. I'm 20 minutes in, and I'm thinking I hate this film already. Let me see if I can predict anything that happens. It appears that Mr. Clooney spent time watching the movie The Martian, deciding to direct this film.
Yes.
Now, fast forward to the end. But wait. Aren't they at the North Pole? And George Clooney looks like Santa? I mean, I was wondering where the Martians were.
Came out at Christmas time.
Well, I guess they did. Okay, well, back to getting to the end. Oh, yes. They run into trouble. They lose their mode of transportation. The ship gets broken, etc., blah, blah, blah. Boring, predictable future science movie schlock. Oh, a team bonding over Neil Diamond? I didn't know. I didn't know it would be him, but I knew it would be corny and predictable and just boring and annoying. Just waiting till the next challenge for them to overcome. Not one thing in this movie made me feel it was original and nothing was interesting or unique for the entire movie. Loved all the actors, though casting was good for what they had to do, but ultimately this was a predictable, boring film that unless you like science films that are nothing new or original, I would skip this film altogether. It's a George Clooney should stick to Nespresso commercials.
That's what he's been doing for the last 4 years.
Very low meh. Only because the CLF kid in this did not push me over the edge to a severe rage. And for those of you who are wondering what a CLF is, it's a creepy little fucker.
Yeah. Anyways, low meh.
She wasn't annoying. I liked her. Very low. I almost raged.
All right.
But I didn't. Only because, like, if she would have annoyed me through the whole movie, it would have been a rage. But she was kind of an okay little actor.
Yeah, no, she was good. So, I like the scenes on Earth. I like the relationship between Augustine, played by Clooney, and Iris, played by Kaylin Springall. Spelt really weird, but apparently that's how you pronounce it. Anyways, the film looked good. The sound was good. It was well acted. Everyone involved was really, they were quite good in it with what they had to work with. But the movie just failed to connect with me. There was a void between it and my ability to care about any of the characters.
I know.
I also hated, and I mean hated, the scene where Augustine falls through the ice into the freezing water for quite a time, which quite honestly should have killed him. Hypothermia should have set in, and he should have been dead. And that should have been the
100%.
end of the movie.
Yes,
and to be honest, if it ended there, my feelings toward the movie would probably be about the same, but without the silliness of that scene, so it would have been even better. Maybe my expectations were too high with this one, with Clooney returning to the screen after like 4 years. I mean, after
special commercials.
Yeah. I mean, after 4 years, this is the best Clooney could do. This was a disappointing rage.
Oh, snap. See, I was a little generous on that one, and you were a little generous on Ma Rainey.
I was probably more, it was more of a disappointing rage than anything else, because I saw this, I'm like, this is probably going to be good. And the fact that this is the project that Clooney chose to do after all these years of not doing anything, I'm thinking, okay, this is going to be It was not good.
And I'd like to say, at the end of the movie, my wife turned to me and she said, "Really, Jorge? Really?"
Yeah, that about sums it up. Let's end it with that.
Wow. If you thought that made you rage,
oh, for goodness
I think
sake.
this one's going to make you rage even more.
It's possible.
Let's talk about the VOD for the week. We had a choice. Okay, so let's just let everybody know here that we did have a choice to see a few VODs.
Yeah.
We could have seen Witches, which I refused to see, by the way.
No, thank you.
We could have seen, there was a few other ones that came out that I don't see. I can't even remember them all. But it was just like a big batch dump to us.
Mm-hmm.
Right?
Right.
Like there was a few.
But
we decided on Wonder Woman only because it's kind of like the biggest.
Exactly. It's the big one. We got to talk about Wonder Woman 1984.
I know, right? It's going to be all the rage.
Yeah. So
why
don't you take the lead on this one?
Okay. So rewind to the 1980s as Wonder Woman's next big screen adventure finds her facing two all-new foes, Max Lord and the Cheetah.
Ooh. You got me so far. Right? This sounds excellent so far. What else you got?
I know, and it's directed by Patty Jenkins.
There you go.
Who I know you're not a big fan of. And still, it was also written partially by Patty Jenkins, story by Jeff Johns, and story by, here we go, this is a hint, 4 other credits.
Yes. Only 4?
So can you count up the writers? 1, 2.
That's a lot of writers.
Plus 4 is 6. That's 6. A lot of writers.
Yeah,
you know what we say about lots of writers.
Too many cooks in the kitchen, my friend.
Stars Gal Gadot, who we've met from many Wonder Woman films so far, Chris Pine, and our buddy, Kristen Wiig.
Mm-hmm.
Right?
I love Kristen Wiig. She's great.
I know you do. I love her too.
I actually even liked her in this. I just wish that they had more for her to do.
Yeah, they should have just had her and Wonder Woman making out. That'd be great. So is this a superhero movie? Yes, it is.
Yep.
Is this a detective story? Yes, it is.
Guess, yeah.
Is this a nonsensical, convoluted story, bad CGI, and does it not make sense for some of the time?
Mm-hmm.
Yes to those two.
Mm-hmm.
But does it live inside a comic book reality that if you have bought into this reality, could be somewhat entertaining? For me, I would say yes, this was. This movie is about 30 minutes too long.
30?
I'm saying 30. I'm sure you're going to say more, give or take. I should have hated this film. For a lot of it, I did hate it. But Kristen Wiig is the villain, and Gal Gadot has... she's just one of the most beautiful people ever captured on film.
I thought I was.
I could literally on major release film, I can look at you all the time.
Fair enough.
In fact, I do sometimes.
Yeah. So
I ask myself often when I see superhero films these days, do I ever want to watch this movie again? And especially with superhero movies. And most of them these days, it's probably not. And this is one in particular that I felt the same way. After watching it, I was like, I never want to see this movie again, which is kind of sad. But I'm thinking that about superhero films in general, which basically, predicted nothing new. This film was nothing new. Should probably be a huge rage. And I've been debating on this because I did like some of the things in it. I like when Wonder Woman kicks ass and punch dick. So I'm going to give it a really, 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 really low meh. And I'll wait till you finish your review. But there's a few things we have to unpack together on this film.
All right.
And I'll wait till you do yours.
All right. I think you are perhaps the most generous human being on the face of the earth after hearing that review. What a complete waste of my time. This droned on for 2.5 hours. And for what reason? Nothing really happened. This was a complete waste of talent. And what is going on? Wonder Woman can fly now? What is with that? A little foreplay is always welcome, especially if it ends in a tremendous climax. But this was all foreplay with next to no climax. The battle between...
Negative.
Yes.
Negative climax.
Negative climax, which is not a climax at all, really. The battle between Cheetah and Wonder Woman ended so abruptly, I was literally thinking to myself, that cannot be it. But it was. The true nemesis in this movie, Max Lord, was overly cartoonish in a comic book movie, and that's hard to do. I know Pedro Pascal can act. I mean, heck, he showed plenty of depth with a mask hiding his face in The Mandalorian. But here he is, as a one-note, over-the-top clown. It seemed as if he was summoning his inner William Shatner for the entire film. Chris Pine playing the sidekick again was as weird as it was the first time. And while Kristen Wiig was more than competent, showing off her comedic timing along with the ability to come across as a wicked antagonist, she's ultimately sunk by her final encounter with Wonder Woman. The clunky parallel stories smashing into each other in an ultimate boring mess of a movie that wasted the talent involved in a movie that was way too long make this movie a rage.
I wasn't surprised that you'd rage. Because if you gave the first Wonder Woman a meh, it couldn't have got even to a meh because this one was
so much worse.
Okay, so let's unpack a couple of things that really annoyed me in this film.
All right.
The first one is the whole intro scene.
The whole intro scene?
First off, what the fuck? Yeah, why was that even there? It had no meaning. There was no meaning other than, guess what? It's done a restart on Robin Wright. Because we had Robin Wright had, I think, a couple of Mondos before. Oh no, she had a Matt and a Mondo before that.
Yeah, now she's back to Yeah, she's back to
she
her
has a
rage.
rage now. So she's back to 0.
Yep.
And so, but if Robin Wright just wasn't, if they cut out the first, I don't know how many minutes of that first wasted scene, like it had no impact on the movie. It had 0 impact on the movie.
Yep.
Right? Like, am I missing something?
It had an impact on the movie. It made it like 25 minutes longer.
I know, right? But that's what I'm saying is like it had no input. It was just dumb.
If you're gonna have something like that, they should have condensed it down to about like 3 minutes. And I'm still not entirely sure what the point of it was. I guess that
no, there was no point. I don't get it. It made no sense. But okay, so the other thing you were talking about that she can fly.
Yeah.
That one I wasn't as bothered by,
was
but
stupid.
by the fact that she decided she was going to create the invisible jet. Like the whole time I've ever been a fan of Wonder Woman, the invisible jet was just one thing, but apparently she can make everything invisible.
Yeah,
by just rubbing her hands together.
Yeah, what is that?
Right? Like you're watching this, she's like,
I don't know what that
why
is.
don't we turn this plane invisible? Like she could make herself invisible.
I guess.
She could make her lasso invisible. Like it's back to, when we talked about the last Star Wars, it's kind of like, if you're going to make a movie, even if it is a superhero or it's a comic book or whatever it is, and you create a reality these people live into, then live under that reality all the time.
Got to be consistent.
She could have used that invisibility. She could have used that invisibility all through the movie to get her places she needed to go.
Yep.
Like, I'm going to make this mailbox invisible and jump inside it and hop along in it. Like, it's just, how is that? They didn't need to have that. Everybody knows she drives an invisible jet. Just why didn't they, when they're going to go to the airport, she hops in an invisible jet and they go away?
Yep.
Like it just it was a point that was terribly written. And then the ending was just dumb. It's just like, oh yeah, he's okay. The bad guy's okay. You just forgive everything.
That was the whole thing. Like, is all forgiven? Like, what happened there? I mean, he's got to go to jail, so he's still abandoned his son, right?
Yeah, but then he's back with his son. Everybody's loving each other at the end.
Like,
I'm like,
don't worry about it.
What is this? Like, give me a break. Like, can't somebody kill somebody? Like, did anybody even die in this movie?
I have no idea. I almost did.
Well, Chris Pine, but he really didn't. Yeah, he just went back into became himself again.
Yeah,
I don't know. Yeah, there was a lot of reasons why I probably should have hated this movie.
Yeah, there was.
But I'm sorry. I love Kristen Wiig and I love Gal Gadot. It's lover.
I guess you shouldn't apologize for that. I don't know. Perhaps you should apologize.
You know me. I have a weakness for kicking ass and punching dicks, especially by ladies.
If any movie has proven it, it is this movie because this was atrocious. It takes a pretty for me to be bored in a movie, that's almost impossible. I was bored in this movie because I was just as bored in the George Clooney movie. I'm not going to argue with you there.
It's
it was a rage-o-rama as well.
That's a holiday season. Maybe I'm just giving out Maz like candy.
Apparently you are. Whatever. Every man I give is deserving.
No. Okay, well, now we've got our brand new segment for today, and today one night only.
What's that?
As we're going to do the top 10 Mondo and 5 least rage films of 2020.
Yes.
I couldn't be more excited.
Yeah.
I can't wait to see it on your list. I have a feeling I know what's number 1, but maybe something bumped it out. I can't. You've been talking about this one film for.
I know, and you know what? I had
3. Bop it out? I don't know.
I had 3 that I didn't know which order they were going to go in. Honestly, I was sitting there and I was racking my brain, and I had my top 3 was set. There was nothing that could touch my top 3. 4 through 10 though. That was hard because we saw a lot of good movies this year.
It was super hard. We did see a lot of good movies this year.
Yes. So let's.
All right. Well, hit me with your best shot. Fire away.
Yes. So we're doing our. Now, do you want to start with the top 10, the Mondo 10, or the Rage 5? Why don't we do our Rage 5s
we
first?
came out of a rage. Yeah, let's do it. Okay, you do your Rage 5, and then I'll do my Rage 5.
All right.
Let's challenge it up a bit. And we got Murray's Rage 5, so I'll get Murray's.
All right. So.
Hold on, I got it here.
You got it somewhere? I also have it.
Okay, you go.
I don't know that I agree with his Rage 5, but that's what this is about.
He wouldn't agree with ours either.
Well, no,
he's got
some rages that are on my top 10, so.
Yeah, that's okay. I know. I do too.
Yes. Do you? You sure about that?
Maybe not. Maybe it's an honorable mention.
Maybe not.
At least I'm hoping it never made any list for you. But
all right,
go ahead.
So Rage 5 for 2020. Number 5 for me.
And no backups?
No.
You don't want to throw in a backup?
I'm just jumping right in. You know what?
Okay.
It was painful for me to even revisit these films and just even look at them and think about them as well. I couldn't take more than 5. Normally, I'd have a couple of, dishonorable mentions, but not for this. We're just going with the 5. You can talk about extra ones if you want. Number 5.
I only got 2.
Number 5 is The Old Guard, lazy superhero movie starring Charlize Theron. Number 4, The War with Grandpa. The film would never have been released if it wasn't for the pandemic. De Niro at his worst, and that's saying something these days. Number 3, Sonic the Hedgehog. Bad acting plus bad CGI equals the 3rd worst movie of the year. Number 2, Like a Boss. Who can have a bottom 5 without Tiffany Haddish on the list? Like a Boss,
snap.
Tiffany Haddish stars in this 83-minute pile of excrement. And the number 1 worst piece of crap movie, the rage of all rages, A Fall from Grace.
Wonder Woman? Oh.
No, A Fall from Grace. I do not understand why Tyler Perry has a career. This is one of the worst movies I have ever watched. Not just for 2020, for all time. A Fall from Grace is so putrid, I can still smell it, and I watched it like 10 months ago. Ugh.
Wow. But wait a minute. Was that one from this year?
That was from that was from this year.
Holy crap! So we had a Tiffany Haddish and a Tyler Perry in your top 5. I love it.
They're number 1 and 2. Where else could they be? If we ever have a doubted Hall of Fame, these are the 2 people that are going in it, because they're not only like 8 movies back, they're like every movie that they've ever done is so bad that it's just mind-boggling.
Yeah, I'm kind of respecting the game a little bit. I'm kind of thinking a little Ed Wood here.
I tell you, I'm hoping someday we have a doubted Hall of Fame, because Tiffany Haddish and Tyler Perry are like the first entrance into it.
Okay, well here's my top 5 rages of the year.
Mm-hmm.
So I got 2 runner-ups.
Yep.
Number 2 runner-up is Doolittle.
Yeah,
Even
so
Robert Downey could not save this terrible script. I don't think I should watch movies that are rated PG or technically made for kids anymore. This was the one that kind of really got me.
But like 10 minutes in, it looked like it was going to be the funniest thing ever.
I know.
And then I don't know that I've ever enjoyed 10 minutes so much and then hated something so much after that. The first 10 minutes were gold, and then it was just so unbelievably bad for the next 80 minutes.
Solid gold.
Yes. Anyways, go on.
Okay, so the next one, runner-up, is Sonic the Hedgehog.
Yep.
Jim Carrey and kids' video games as a movie should not have left the 1990s where they belong.
Yes.
All right. Now, you may be mad at this, but it really did enrage me so much. My number 5 is The Way Back.
Oh, so good.
Unoriginal, predictable, and boring character study of a has-been sports person was maybe the worst sports movie I have ever seen. Not because it was done badly, but because it was a script that has been done 100 times before and done 100 times much better before multiple times. There was not one original line or thing about this entire movie, which made me rage because I went and saw it in the theaters, and now I'm regretting it.
I liked it a lot.
Number 4. I know you did. I hated it. And I see hate more than you hated Wonder Woman. I'm absolutely positive of that. Because it made my top 5.
I guess.
It made my top 5. And
fair enough.
Number 4 was a documentary that we saw.
Really?
Called, Portrayal. This is the worst. Was it Portrayal? Is that the right pronunciation?
Portrayal.
Or Portrait?
Oh.
Yeah, it was Portrayal.
Yeah, that was awful.
This is the worst documentary I saw this year. So scripted.
Convoluted.
And a topic that never should have ever got a feature-length film.
Yeah.
It was so painful to watch. Number 3, Nose to Tail. This kitchen drama was so painful to watch. The main character, actor, along with the script, was so unlikable that after watching it for 30 minutes, I thought, I can't take any more of this.
It was bad.
It was terrible. Number 2, Honest Thief. Liam Neeson needs to retire. Yes. And thank you, Bryce.
Yes.
For giving out Maz like candy.
Yeah.
Otherwise, he would formally be on our doubted list not just on my own personal doubted list.
That movie was a rage, but I don't give out Mez like candy. Liam Neeson has made some pretty average movies lately, and they're all right.
He's made rage-filled films like Made in Italy.
No. Made in Italy was good. I liked it.
No, it was awful. And you gave it candy.
Yeah.
Candy
Let's stay on point. Honest Thief was awful. Number 1.
Right.
Worst.
Number 1 with a bullet.
Yep.
Can you guess which movie made me rage? And not ones that we had from the Rage or Dare bag, but one that we saw in theaters that I could, I pretty much talk about nonstop about it being so terrible.
Really? I'm not sure. Give me a hint.
It was Invisible Man.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
Yeah. Okay, so I hate having to remember this film again, as I really wanted to try and forget this ever existed. It was by far the worst film of this last year. Never have I seen a remake of a film that I was so looking forward to seeing and was so disappointed.
Wasn't that the worst part? The fact that we were both so looking forward to this, and it was
Yes, this could have been a new Universal monster movie craze.
I know.
And it wasn't. So this is a perfect example of a horror film that spent so much time assuming that the people who were watching it were idiots and so little time making a creative and original film. Everything was predictable and contrived, and I have never felt so angry watching a film as I was watching this one. I literally was shuffling in my seat, uneasy, the whole time as this rage was brewing as I watched this film. Want to discuss this film with me? I am happy to break down every single stupid thing in this film that did not add one bit of suspense. You did not need to ever use your mind through this entire film, as the director assumed you were stupid and went to great pains to over-explain and foreshadow everything. So obviously, it was not a surprise when it came later in the film. But ask yourself this. If you say you like this film, what was the couple's dog doing for the entire time that the guy was supposedly missing? That's all I want to say about that.
All right, then.
That was just one perfect piece of the puzzle. The dog was just magically living by itself. For months on end.
Yes.
All right, the MERS. Do you want to do his 5 and I'll do his 10?
Sure. So I'm going to do his worst, his rages.
His rages.
All right. So Murray, these are Murray's. I have to say it again because I completely disagree with 3 of them. These are Murray's picks for the worst movies of 2020. The Empty Man. What was The Empty Man? Oh, The Empty Man was excellent. There's 4 that are...
Yeah.
I love The Empty Man. That was the that supernatural...
There was 4...
Yeah.
We like The Empty Man. We both gave it a Mondo. But, there's 4 Mondos and 1 man for you on here.
Wow. Did I not rage over the... Anyways, I'll get to that.
No, you gave it a man.
Okay. He also has The Nest, which is Jude Law. It was very, very good. But this is Murray's time. So The Nest
I'm on Murray's side on this one.
Yeah, well, you guys are both wrong. Kajillionaire. What? Sorry, this is Murray's time. The Grudge, which I'm not going to argue with that one. Although, I think this might be the movie that you laughed hardest of any movie. There was this one scene where you're
this is my best comedy.
I tell you. You were laughing so hard, you made me laugh. And this is, I don't even want to read what his number 1 rage movie of the year is because he's wrong.
Well, I'll read it. It was Last and First Men. The
Blasphemy.
First trifecta. The first trifecta in film rage history.
Yes, it got a
you
Mondo.
Gave it a Mondo.
Yeah, I gave him a Mondo. You didn't know.
And Murray gave it a rage. I'm so happy that happened. And I'm glad it just made his list.
All right. So, once again, Murray, least favorite films, The Empty Man, The Nest, Kajillionaire, The Grudge, Last and First Men. All right, sir.
There you have it.
From there, I guess we'll move on to, I guess I'll kick it off again.
10. Yeah, sure.
All right, so I'm going to do my honorable mentions first. Just a little brief statement about each of them. The ones that were almost into the top 10 but didn't quite make it. Corpus Christi, intense Polish film of faith and redemption. Really good stuff. First Cow, it's a different type of Western. Also a very good movie. VH, yes. The hardest I have laughed in years. Painting with Joan made me laugh.
I thought that might have made your top 10.
Yeah, Painting with Joan made me laugh so hard it literally hurt. I was in pain. I was laughing so hard.
It was your grudge. It was your grudge.
And these last 2, I can't believe neither of them. I mean, this must have been a heck of a year if these 2 didn't make my top 10. Kala Azar, which was stunning.
Which is a rage.
And unforgettable. And Climate of the Hunter, which was a Mickey Reese masterpiece. I am begging if anybody can convince Mickey Reese to make a box set of, because he can't find his films, at least I'm having a hard time. If you can make a Mickey Reese box set, I will buy it. I love that. After watching Climate of the Hunter,
contact him.
I want to see anything that this guy's made because Climate of the Hunter was genius. And by the way, it actually just got a pretty big release recently. And it's been getting good reviews on the old circuit. People are actually, they're digging this movie just like I did.
You can always find a positive review from anybody. I mean, look at this.
No.
You just literally rated this a good movie.
Yes. Not a good movie. A great movie. Not quite top 10. I couldn't bounce Charlie Kaufman out of my top 10 because that was what was going to have to happen in order for Climate of the Hunter to get in. So with that said, here is my Mondo 10 of 2020. Number 10, I'm Thinking of Ending Things. Written for the screen and directed by Charlie Kaufman, this story about a woman taking a road trip to meet her boyfriend's parents takes a few mind-bending turns that will leave you thinking about the film weeks after you watch it. Love this movie.
It's okay.
Yeah, it was better than okay. Number 9, Gretel and Hansel. One of the best looking films of the year, along with perhaps the best musical score by Rob. Director Oz.
Yeah,
Rob, so good. Director Oz Perkins gives us a version of the classic grim tale that is unsettling and unforgettable. Number 8, The Nest. This is a film about horrible people doing horrible things, and you will not be able to look away. Jude Law's portrayal of Rory, a man who keeps on living beyond his means to the point his entire existence begins to unravel, was something to behold.
Wow, that made your top 10. Okay.
It sure did, because it was that good. Number 7, Beanpole. It is a story of survival that piles heartbreaking scenes on top of heartbreaking scenes. It is bleak, but it's also quite beautiful. Such a good movie. Number 6.
I won't debate you there.
Yes. Number 6, Nobody. Standout from the Calgary Underground Film Festival this year. Written and directed by Karl Markovics. This story of an unlikely friendship that takes a few dark turns and ultimately ends up in a life or death situation may have the best ending of any movie this year. Number 5, Father.
With a pause for, oh.
Number 5 is Father. Not to be confused with The Father, starring Anthony Hopkins. Yep. This is the Serbian film directed by Srdan Golubovic about a father's heartbreaking journey to gain the right to raise his own children. This was so good. Number 4, The Vast of Night. I kind of feel like this movie was made just for me.
Wow.
I really
can't
do.
believe that made your top 10. I'm not disappointed, though, because it's a good movie.
Oh, so good. So number 4, The Vast of Night. This movie slowly invites you in more and more as the camera keeps its distance at the beginning. But as the camera moves in, you find yourself becoming part of the experience. It's a unique and wonderful movie that pays homage to the monster movies of the 1950s, but with a few modern camera tricks. This also had some of my favorite dialogue of the year. I loved this film. And now we get to the top 3. And as I mentioned earlier in the podcast, I didn't know where I was going with this top 3. I didn't know if 3 was going to be 1 and 2 was going to be 3. And they're so
vice versa, and
they're
upside down.
so close. I had a tough time, but after many, many hours of trying to figure out which was going to be my top.
Wait, was it more like many hours of watching college football? You finally realized?
No. I was racking my brain over this. I was really struggling over what order to put these last 3 in, but here it is.
Okay, well, I'm excited.
Number 3, Last and First Men. Narrated by Tilda Swinton, this film by Johan Johansson is a unique and unforgettable film. The film washes over you and has an almost hypnotizing effect as it is darn near impossible to look away. I cannot wait, and I mean this wholeheartedly, I can't wait to watch this movie again. This time, hopefully without a couple of neeners beside me making stupid comments. By the way, you're one of the neeners.
I know. I tried to be quiet.
I'm enjoying this movie so much, and anyways, doesn't matter.
And it was okay.
Number 2, Sound of Metal. Riz Ahmed gives the best performance of the year. This is the best performance of the year as Ruben. A man who finds himself having to deal with a sudden loss of hearing. Heartbreaking and inspirational, this movie does not let go of you and continues to hold on long after the closing credits have rolled. Which brings us to number 1, which will be no surprise to you because you're probably wondering.
Not a surprise at all.
You're like, when I say, yeah. So anyways.
I was pretty sure it was going to stay number 1 because of what you said when you saw it the first time.
So,
and I still haven't seen it yet.
I know.
You know what? I tell you, it was available for rent on Apple for a very short period of time. And I almost bought it because I could buy it for and I hadn't even seen it yet. But with how you talked about it, I really wanted to see it.
Yeah.
And now it's not on Apple anymore, so I don't know.
Oh, no. So number 1.
So when you buy it, I'll just borrow it.
There you go. Number 1 is Vitalina Varela. Pedro Costa's film is quite simply a work of art. You can take any frame from this film and hang it on your wall. Every shot is perfectly framed and perfectly lit. Every shadow and sliver of light has purpose. Costa may be the best director making movies today, and I mean that. Watch this film and tell me that I am wrong. Vitalina Varela is the best film of 2020, and it's not I shouldn't say it's not even close because those other ones in my top 3, they were close, but this movie was so beautiful to look at. It stirred up emotions in me that I didn't even know I had.
You didn't even know you had.
It is such a wonderful experience. I loved Vitalina Varela. Best movie of 2020. One of the best movies that I've ever watched.
Well, I'm excited to finally see that because of your top 10. I've seen most of the ones. I think I've seen all of your top 10.
Yeah, you've probably seen
That's
them
the
all
only
except for that
seen.
one.
Yep. Okay, well, my top 10 is my honorable mention. And some of these didn't even get to Mondo for you, but that's okay. It shows that I know you didn't mind some of them. So,
Yep.
So my number 5 honorable mention goes to A White, White Day.
So good.
Visual and character development masterpiece. Oh, and did I mention much about the cinematography, which was awesome?
Yes, it was.
And the fact that it could create a home that is also a character.
Wasn't that awesome?
I know, right? Like, I'm a huge character-driven person, and this movie was all character all the time. I loved it. Number 4 was Capone. Tom Hardy is a god, and this movie proves it.
Yep.
Number 3, Possessor. Baby Cronenberg, in this horror director from Canada, you will want to watch for the future and beyond. Number 2 is Mank. Actors, characters, and atmosphere. Oh my. Number 1. Also, I think we saw this at Calgary International Film Fest. Supernova 2020.
Oh, so good.
Polish real-time car wreck that blew my mind and was nothing I expected it to be.
Yeah.
And I was so pleasantly surprised.
That was one of the best real-time movies that I think I've ever seen. It was fantastic. Yep.
And the characters in it, all of them, even the subtle little tiny things about the peripheral characters were so well defined. It was
So
I mean, this is the thing actually, and before I go into my top 10.
Yep.
I'm the character guy, and you are the visual guy. That's the way I think when we see a film. Like, you're breaking down all the visuals and how that interacts, and I'm looking at the character development. I know we both look.
We
at
both have,
these things,
yeah, absolutely.
I think
fair.
For us, what drives us more is characters will drive me further than it might drive you, and I think the visuals of a film will drive you way further than it would me. If I don't see the character, I might not be as in love with it.
Yeah.
So
sometimes I'm happy to look at something pretty for 2 hours.
Yeah, exactly. And I need the pretty things to be developed in a character, like for example, White White Day.
Yep.
So my number 10 is, and I own the soundtrack. I still listen to it every other day. We Are Little Zombies.
Nice.
Probably the best version of Annie that's ever been produced. That's right. Want a movie about kids becoming friends after they become orphans? Well, have it made in Japan by the beautiful director Makoto Nagaisha. Nagaisha. I love every single thing about this CLF orphans coming to grips with their grief in a way that can only be done by a gifted Japanese director.
Yep.
Number 9, The Personal History of David Copperfield. This is the most BIPOC-friendly film ever created. Characters, actors, fantasy. This film was brilliant, and I never thought I could love a period piece as much. I guess they just have to be done creatively and done well.
I had no expectations going into this, like literally none, and I was blown away.
Yeah, well, you know what? We will debate a little bit on some of the ratings you've given Dev Patel, because when Dev Patel's in it, I want to see it. Okay, so number 8, Kajillionaire. Fucked up people in a world I never want to be a part of, but thought was created in a car crash of characters I could not look away from.
Yep.
Number 7, which also made your runner-ups, Corpus Christi. Polish director Jan Kamasa is quickly becoming one of my favorite international directors, including his other great film of this year, The Hater.
Mm-hmm.
Another great film with amazing character development, does a great job bringing in small town values and Catholic ideologies into a cinematic world that I actually never really wanted to see at first, but I'm so glad I did. Number 6 made it a little higher on my list, but it was on your top 10 too, and that's Gretel and Hansel.
Yes.
Osgood Jenkins' atmospheric and dialogue-heavy suspense horror that is well-written fairy tale of one of the most iconic tales in history. As everyone who listens to this podcast knows, I hate remakes, but this is not a remake. It is a brand new vision of horror and an adult fairy tale that has never been told before and is brilliant. Number 5, Arkansas. This drug mule film with one of the best written dialogue of any film ever written, including an amazing actor-director double team by Clark Duke. Loves me, this Clark Duke. I want to see more and more by him because I think he's just getting his sea legs.
Yes.
Number 4 is a doc, and it is Assassins. My favorite doc of this last year. This mind-blowing film about the murder of King Jong-un's brother brought me so much anger and relief in what was portrayed as one of the most evil trials that has ever happened. Number 3, our undoubted buddy Chris makes a film that takes you back and forth through time in what I am calling a perfect sci-fi action film and will continue to fuck with people's minds for years to come. Number 2, and this could be debated.
By the way, you should say the name of your number 3 just in case people don't know who Chris is.
They don't know who Chris is. Yeah, thanks. It's Tenet.
Of course it is.
Of course it is. Now this one we could debate because I think it might have been released in December of last year, but because it went over into January, I'm calling it from this year, and that's 1917.
Fair enough.
Visual brilliance, this journey of two friends through Sam Mendes' First World War, I don't even know how I can pronounce my own word. Cinematographic masterpiece is a real-time journey. I know. I want to see again and again, and have done so many times since, and on different size screens. But the best was on IMAX, and that's where you should see all films that with this type of visual.
Cool.
And my number 1, which is also in one of your lists somewhere, and that's Beanpole. By far my favorite film of the year. This Russian dramatic portrayal of two friends who survived the war together and brought emotion and more emotion, followed by character development. And did I mention emotion? Yeah, because there was a lot of emotion. Because it brought that to the nth degree of any film I saw last year. This is a character-driven film, and it is my favorite film of the year. That is Beanpole. Thank you, Russia.
Absolutely.
All right, well, let's break down Murs real quick. I'll do this. I don't think his are in any order.
No, there's just,
so his top.
It's a hodgepodge.
I'll do 5, and then you can finish with the other 5.
Sure.
So and this is not in order. He didn't pick this as this is number 1, 2. So they're just 10 of Murray's favorite films from last year. Number 1 on the list is 1917. Number 2 was The Gentleman. Number 3 was Birds of Prey. Number 4 was Unhinged. And number 5 was Come Play.
Wow. Did you make me do this next 5 because you knew what the first one was going to be?
Yes, exactly. That's why.
So
I just wanted you to say it.
The remaining 5, and let me be clear, this is Murray's remaining 5 of the best of the year. The War with Grandpa. Not going to say anything. No, you're not. The Last Shift, which I agree was very good. Becky, which was also very good. On the Rocks, Bill Murray, how can you go wrong? Very entertaining. And Eat Wheaties. Hey, I got no problem with that.
Yeah, well, you shouldn't have a problem because it's Murray's mind.
Yep.
And that is a joy to behold. Okay. Whew, I love making lists, and this list There's some good films on. And I have a feeling a lot of people that may listen to our show, maybe don't listen to our show, maybe should listen to our show because these films are not everywhere. So you got to hunt for them.
Yes. All right.
Well, we're running a little hot here today. My rage is going to be real quick.
Your rage is going to be real quick. Really?
Oh, yeah.
Well, sir, with that being said...
It was going to be quick.
It was going to be quick, but then somebody's asleep at the controls here. We got to fire our producer on that note.
Yeah, well, he's our actual producer's on hiatus.
Temperature rising. Vision blurring. Rage taking over.
So, my rage is going to be real simple. This new normal of video on demand and streaming releases could be the death of cinema. And when you start to hear, not that I'm disagreeing with this necessary opinion, but some of the directors are now actually, and particularly Patty Jenkins was known to have said that if she had known that they were going to release Wonder Woman 84 on streaming and VOD, she never would have directed it. Which, by the Bryce, he probably doesn't matter with that because he was probably hoping that it wasn't directed.
No, I respect that take on it because, yeah, absolutely,
yes,
that should be everybody's take.
I do too, actually. I wish that was everybody's take. So I got a lot of respect for Patty and her thoughts around it. What I don't have a lot of respect for is the people that are building this buzz that, oh, well, we don't need cinemas. We need to just get these movies faster into our hot little hands, pay $30 at home and watch new releases on my 55-inch screen instead of the IMAX screen, which I never would have seen 1917 on, which is, I don't even know how big an IMAX screen is, but I'm sure as hell glad I saw it on an IMAX screen because I have seen it on my 55-inch at home, and of course I'm still going to buy my 85-inch. But even then, it's not going to give it the full effect that I would get in the theaters watching 1917. So my rage this week is people that believe that we don't need cinemas. First off, you're wrong, and it makes me angry. Super, super angry that people can just allow cinemas to go by the wayside. That's my rage.
Well, can't disagree with one thing that you've said about your rage this week, which is kind of odd. Kind of feels weird.
Yeah, it does, right? We're agreeing. Well, we've disagreed a lot through this episode, so.
Yes, yes, we have. All right, my rage will also be. It's kind of related to yours. Are you ready for it? Is everybody
ready.
Is everybody ready for it? Okay, here we go.
Are you all ready for this?
My rage is $30 for Wonder Woman 1984? That's my rage.
Rage.
But wait.
Subsiding. Pulse slowing. Anger fading.
What more needs to be said?
Well, I just wanted to break it down. Was Kim watching it with you? Because then that's $15 a ticket.
Yeah, whatever.
Well, this week on the list, I am so excited.
Are you?
Because we're going to be we're going to be talking about Kelsey Grammer and Denise Richards, and that might be all we have time for today. So let's talk about Kelsey first, because you said that there may have a debate here. Now, I know that Baby, Baby, Baby was one of our films we had to see.
I liked it.
Yes, it wasn't bad. It was a meh. Was it a Mondo, though?
Was it a Mondo? No, it wasn't a Mondo. It was meh. It was good, though. I liked it. I'm glad I watched it.
Yep, so was I. It's a meh.
Yep.
But it's sandwiched right now between two rages.
Is it?
Entourage and Neighbors 2.
True. So
right?
that still puts him on the list. So Entourage, is he 8 back, is it?
Entourage is the last one. Then
Okay.
Baby, which is a meh.
Yep.
And I agree with that meh, by the way. Neighbors 2, which was a rage for both of us.
Yep.
But even if it was a meh for me, it could take him off, but it wasn't. I hated Neighbors 2.
Okay.
Guardians of the Tomb we didn't see.
Nope.
I did see Like Father. I didn't see Grand Isle, but we both saw Money Plane, and it was a rage.
It was a meh.
What?
Money Plane was
Okay,
meh.
did you see the same one? Dude, that was literally the worst movie I think I could imagine ever going. This was like a plane that was basically like it was shot in a box. It could have been The Cube,
Yeah,
but instead of The Cube, it was a pretend plane.
I had a good time.
You're kidding me, right?
I'm not. It wasn't that bad.
You're literally giving Money Plane a meh?
Give Money Plane a meh.
Okay, so you know what that means, though. You now have to watch one or two Kelsey Grammars before we can make a
Okay,
decision.
so which ones would those be?
Charming the Heart of Men
Okay, didn't
or
see that.
Grand Isle.
Oh, I did see Grand Isle.
Oh, wait. Was it a meh?
It's got Nick Cage in it.
Oh, so it's a Mondo. Well, why didn't you come out with that first? It's got Nick Cage in it. It's probably a Mondo.
It's not a Mondo. And you know that Nick Cage being in a movie does not make it a Mondo these days. Nick Cage in a movie makes it usually worth watching because you
Cage in a
can
movie.
exactly because it's always interesting to say the least to watch Nick Cage's take on any role. And yeah, he doesn't disappoint here. He's got an interesting take on the character that he plays.
Yep. You're dragging this out a little too long.
I am going to say that Grand Isle was meh, which means Kelsey Grammer is not on the doubted list. Yay!
I'm sorry, what was I saying about you giving mez out like candy? The fact that you gave Money Plane alone a meh is beyond reproach.
Kelsey Grammer is not doubted.
He is to me. I'm just going to put a little note that says no. Well then, let's talk about my girl, Denise Richards.
Let's talk about Denise.
Okay, so we got to see Money Plane, which is a meh.
It's a meh.
Guess what that means for you, my friend.
What does that mean?
My fine friend.
What does it mean?
You've now got to watch one of her other movies.
Oh no.
Because you've just created a meh.
Maybe I
When
watched
really
it already.
Money Plane was a rage. I don't think so. Did you see Alpha Code?
Ooh, Alpha Code. I haven't, but that
No,
sounds interesting.
I know. Or how about 2020's Switched, which almost sounds like a Freaky Friday situation.
Ooh, Switched. That does sound like that could be good. We just watched a Freaky Friday movie.
Yeah, and it wasn't too bad.
That was all right.
Okay, well, you're now charged with
Freaky.
seeing either Switched or Alpha Code, perhaps even both. I don't know.
I am so happy that I gave Money Plane a meh because I wasn't even thinking ahead. I get to watch another Denise Richards movie. This is so exciting. I am stoked.
Can we just talk about My Adventures with Santa?
I think we have to.
We know. Well, for me, it was a huge rage. It was literally the worst Christmas movie I've ever seen.
It was an unbelievable rage. I don't even know what to say. Having said that, I love Barbara Eden in it. She's great.
Yeah, Barbara Eden was fantastic.
But
She
everything
was
else.
the only thing.
Oh,
Yeah, it was terrible. Just like Money Plane was.
no.
But, okay,
It's
so you'll surprise us next week when you'll either watch Switched or Alpha Code.
I don't know if I can do it in a week. It might take a couple. Sorry.
No, you're going to have to now. And the reason I say that is for you giving
Why?
out fucking that's like candy to Kelsey Grammer on a movie that's clearly one of the worst movies that's ever been put onto celluloid.
Yeah.
That's
all right.
Money Plane. No, it was so terrible. Like, it was Liam Neeson terrible.
Kelly.
In fact, it was worse than...
Kelsey Grammer is safe for quite a while now because he's got 2 mess and then an I don't know because I don't know his last one, but
Well, perhaps you should make it a challenge to watch all of the Kelsey Grammer movies
You know
because
what?
apparently you love him.
I don't mind him. He's Sideshow Bob. How can you not like Sideshow
Yeah.
Bob?
I love Sideshow Bob.
There you go.
But Sideshow Bob doesn't count as a movie, so
No, I guess
he'll always
doesn't.
be your rage. No, he doesn't.
I
Okay,
know.
well, you'll be watching Denise Richards. And so we're not doing any other discussion today because we've had enough talk about Doubted. You know what? Let's just throw one. I'm going to throw one Mesmerized out.
All right, throw it
And
out.
only because we just watched Ma Rainey's, I'm putting Colman Domingo on as Mesmerized.
I don't even know why I'm thinking about it. Yes, he's mesmerizing.
Well, of course he is. Don't be so kooky. Kooky.
Yeah.
Okay, let's move on.
Cool.
We're eating up time like it's candies made out of mess.
Delicious.
In the time before theaters were closed, in an episode far, far behind us, Bryce picked from the dare bag what is certainly got to be the worst of the Final Destination film series, with number 4 slash, or maybe the original? I don't know. It's got a dumb name, so whatever. This week, I will get a chance to go back to the bag of pleasure with the dare bag, as Bryce aptly calls it. Except it's not always a pleasure for me. While I contemplate it, let's see what Bryce is still in love with Final Destination, or if it finally kills his feelings.
All right.
You're going to tell us too.
Yeah.
Final Destination 4. Break
Well,
it down, baby.
The whole thing was that, after I drew the Final Destination, I kind of brought up that was supposed to be the last Final Destination movie. And then you're like, so why did they make 5? And I was like, well, I don't remember. So I was like, you know what? I'll watch 5 too. Why not? I mean, if you're going to watch Final Destinations, you might as well watch a couple of them. So
Oh, yeah.
the Final Destination was Mondo, as all the Final Destinations tend to be. The anticipation of the inevitable deaths are almost as fun as the inventive ways that the characters meet their demise. This particular Final Destination had the escalator scene, which was spectacular. The question came up, as I mentioned, was it necessary that we got Final Destination 5, as this 4th entry was supposed to wrap up the series? The answer is yes, as the Final Destination did not really have a satisfying conclusion. Final Destination 5, as a whole, was definitely the worst in the series, but it did have the best ending, as it found a way to tie all the films together with a satisfying end to the franchise. The film itself was a little frustrating as they introduced the silly kill or be killed aspect of the story, which was completely unnecessary. And some of the CGI was not terrific. But the ending was Mondo. As the 5 films as a series got a fitting conclusion, I was quite happy with this movie. I love the Final Destination films, all of them. Such a good series. Thank you to whoever put this in the dare bag. No, I'm getting all confused. Whoever put it in the dare bag, thank you. It's been a while since I've watched any of these Final Destination movies. The fact that I got to watch 2 was great. I love these movies. I'm sorry. I don't know why I'm apologizing for it. These movies are good.
Apparently, yeah. I mean, I'm kind of anxious now to see it. Now, did you find your stack of Final Destination box set?
I must have given it away. There was a period there where I had like stacks and stacks of Blu-rays, and every time someone came over to my place, I was like, you know what? Just look through them. Whatever you want to take. Just show it to me first. And apparently, I said, yeah, take it. But I had so much.
And I never gave it back.
The whole thing is everything that I had was still wrapped. I almost never crack into a Blu-ray and actually watch it. So I was like, you know what? Someone might as well be watching these. So every time people would come over, because I had a problem there for a while where I was basically going online at about 2 a.m. I should have some sort of thing on my computer that keeps me from late night shopping, because man, did I buy a lot of stuff for a while there. But yeah, so yeah, no, it wasn't around, but yeah, I found a way, and it was as I say, it was I was quite pleased.
So what you're saying is the entire Final Destination franchise is Mondo.
Oh, yeah. I could sit there watch them back to back to back to back to back. It would be no problem for me. And it's like, oh, if they're all the same. They're not all the same. And the best part is they're kind of the same, because every time you know what's going to happen. You know this guy's going to die. But that's not the best part. The best part is
how he dies.
Exactly. And they throw out all these red herrings. Oh, it's going to be the nail gun. Oh, no, it's not the nail gun. It's something else. And there's like, give you like about 7 different scenarios that it could be.
Okay.
And it just builds that anticipation and the tension. And then when the death finally happens, it's just so good. It's a can't miss concept. Whoever came up with this concept, hey, death has a plan, man, and there's no getting away from it. It's genius.
It's your final destination.
It's your final destination. It's pure freaking genius. I love this series.
Well, I have to say, I saw the first one, and then I didn't love it, so I didn't watch anymore. So
you missed out, man.
Maybe I'll go back and watch the Final Destination, and then the Final Destination.
Yeah, you should watch them all.
The minds behind the minds that created this franchise are sheer brilliance. To add the word "the" to change.
I can't argue with any of that.
It's an incentive for me to watch the other 4. Okay, well, I think I'm going to pick from the Dare bag because it's been so good to you.
It has been good to me.
I want to make sure I want to see your hands, because I don't want to be planted with another terrible. Like, everything I picked from that bag is terrible.
There it is.
Okay.
Are you ready?
There you go. Put your hand in there.
I'm going to put my hand in here.
Shuffle it in. Shuffle it around.
This is kind of sad, this bag. For those watching on YouTube, this is not the best prop ever.
It's a high-tech bag. It's a Ziploc.
Oh,
it cost us like 25 cents.
Yeah. Are you ready for some Adam Sandler, Jim?
Oh, fuck me. Are you kidding me?
I'm talking.
Could you pick the worst person?
I'm
for
talking.
pulling a bag for me?
I'm talking Adam Sandler classic. Let's see if this focuses in on there. Does that say Jack and Jill? You get to watch Jack and Jill, which stars Adam Sandler and, are you ready for this?
Adam
Sandler. He plays the two. He plays Jack and Jill. You get double the Sandler for one low price.
This is literally my least favorite comedy, is when actors think that they're funny, so they put themselves twice in a movie, and they're not funny in one of the characters. So yeah, I have a feeling this is going to be a super big rage for me.
Have you seen it?
I think I may. I think I did a long time ago when it came out, and I seem to remember hating it then.
It's so bad.
So I'm gonna hate this one just as bad, I'm sure.
I would like to thank our listeners for this particular one, and I'm very glad.
Yeah,
I'm very glad that Jim pulled it.
This is literally a Final Destination scenario. It's kind of like you're now destined to pull great shit from that bag, and I'm destined to pull. Every time
I pull from this bag, I get Phone Booth, and I get Final Destination. I get movies that I love. It's fantastic.
I get 9 Lives and Jack and Jill. Like, what's going on? Why does the universe hate me?
Universe loves me, my friend. I kind of knew it did, but it's nice to have, the verification.
It's always coming up, Bryce.
It really is. All right, sir. Well, I think we've yammered on long enough.
Well, thanks, Ragers, for listening. Thanks to Extended Film Rage crew of Leonard Colman for his artistic vision of photography. Leonard Colman Photography. Also to our man Merman, who is on hiatus until COVID is lifted from our veil of punishment. We miss you, Mer, and we can't wait till you get back to us. Listen to us on all the podcast streaming sites. Find us at Film Rage YYC on Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook, and on our website at filmrageyyc.com. We are always wanting your feedback to make this a raging blast for all listeners, so please go on social media, Apple Podcasts, our website, and Podchaser, and give us feedback, or give us more Dare films for us to watch. Mostly me, because the rest of them are always good for Bryce. No matter what you do, though, please make us rage. Please. Please. That's it for this week. Rage on.
Rage on.